Free audio post-production by Alphonic.com.
What's the fuzz with Sharky and Bronk?
Fresh from Magic Round, he's returned, minus a coffee today, so that shows dedication straight off the bat. G'day, Bronk.
Morning, Sharky. Absolute dedication.
Fresh off the lurgy?
Yeah, well, I've got rid of mine and given it to the immediate family, and they're all as pleased as punch about it. So, yeah, a small beef, but once again, what an amazing effort by Suncorp to handle those games, considering how bloody wet it was in Brisbane, and it was wet. Everybody seems to have a pretty good time, except as per usual, a refereeing incident on the weekend once again proved that I don't know if there's any justification or justice on the planet, but it certainly isn't, the judge and jury called a referee, because one bloke got sent 10 minutes in the sin bin for just laying on a player. Most likely did it 3 or 4 times, in the defensive sets that they faced about 4 of for 6 agains. But he got 10 in the bin. And another player, look, I thought that I'd never, ever see the coat hanger tackle ever again, but I managed to see one on the weekend, and it brought back memories unbelievable. Les Boyd, Noel Kelly's, and he swung around and he almost did a complete 360 and he got 10 in the bin, the same punishment as the fella that got 10 in the bin for laying on a player. And this bloke here just about decapitated the player. And I thought, well, gee whiz,
entertainment.
How do we draw the line, and how do we vindicate that that's the same? And I suppose really and truly, we most likely should just pretend it didn't happen and just let it flow, because there just doesn't seem to be, well, there is no sense in either. Another fellow got, fined $800 for tripping. So, yeah.
It used to be a send-off.
There was no issues at all.
Magic.
You're off. But maybe it is. Maybe it's the fairy wand and all the magic stars flutter about, and let's keep it clean, and, let it appear to be justice is being done. Look, short and sweet, mate, but once again, the answer once again is the good old-fashioned Queensland pineapple.
Entertainment,
absolutely.
Sounds like you were. Entertained.
It just the gift that does keep on giving.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But anyway, look, that's the best I've got to offer on that, because it was and also the traumatic news overnight of Jai Arrow, absolutely feel shattered for the poor fellow. It's something that no human anywhere deserves. It's a frightening illness, mate. Fight the fight, and our thoughts are with you.
Yep, terrible story. 30. And a partner and a baby last year, and that's as bad as you can imagine. It's a reminder to everybody, don't take health for granted and your life for granted, because tomorrow you could be dealt a blow.
Too true, mate, too true.
Now, I'm glad that you saw some magic in last week, and I do concur that the ground held up very well. However, can I just say that perhaps... and the carnival atmosphere that is generated, and all the fans being there on one weekend, all the festival activities and people coming together for a great cause, enjoying rugby league. I do think that's magic, but that's about where I think the magic was cut off. Because I think it was all in the stands and all in the streets and the cities and the restaurants and the pubs and clubs. I'm not so sure that we saw much magic on the field. In fact, I was bored shitless for most of what they call Magic Round, and I note that there's been plenty of people in and around the game, journalists, players themselves this week have also talked about how they didn't see much magic or feel it. And I think it's just an extension of what they've done to the game. Can I put it to you that if we cast our mind, if we can remember back to 12 months ago, although they'd made tweaks and changes to the game, that we possibly saw one of the great seasons in our recent memory, and I don't think I've seen a better final series than I did last year. I don't know what this garbage that we're seeing this year quite is, but it certainly doesn't resemble anything of last year. So I note with interest that in the last 48 hours, we've got 2 Melbourne Storm players, one who'll feature in State of Origin next Wednesday, Cameron Munster, and Jerome Hughes. They have their own podcast each week down there in Melbourne. And both have gone on the record as stating that they can't watch the game anymore. And if it's on, it's only on in the background. They can't watch it through frustration. Touch football has been referenced quite a few times. These are players, elite players in our game, now publicly speaking about how poor the quality of the game is, to the point where unless they're playing in a game, they can't watch it. So we do have problems, and I just want to, rather than me, bang on about how bad it is, I took the liberty, Bronk, of going through some social media posts across various platforms like Facebook and podcasts on YouTube, just to see what people have been writing about the game. And this, of course, fresh after our Magic weekend. Enough of the sycophants in the media talking up the NRL and their BS in 2026. The game's cooked, regardless of who you support. Awful. NRL 360 will wank on how good Magic Round was, then talk about Galvin, and then have a wank about Origin. The game is controlled, managed and manipulated, as it is in the business of entertainment. How professional could you pretend to be when you have a game unable to scrutinise a referee decision? From the salary cap, which cannot work without a draft, third-party deals, six agains and sin bins, the competition has a level of management. Successful Sydney franchises are a must for TV revenue. So sick of hearing from commentators and upper management that rugby league is the greatest game in the world, yet we change 4 to 5 rules every year, it seems. They can't think it's that great if they're constantly trying to tinker with it. Another weekend of blowouts. Games feel over by half-time and people switch off. The pace is causing more injuries too. Most teams are decimated by them at the moment. Players can only recover so much each week. It's becoming way too predictable and hard to watch. The most important person on the field is now the referee. I'm a Warriors fan, and the first half of Warriors v Bronx had me rolling my eyes going, this isn't league. The game has a massive problem. It's going down the same path as Union. So there's just a few comments from fans who, support our game. We do have serious problems. I don't know why they've cooked this competition, but they have. And we've got a fair while to go at this point. We're up to round 12. Can I suggest that we very seriously have a little inner summit, even on the quiet, amongst ourselves at the big desk with the Golden Greek, and get back to what we were doing last year. I don't know how we can go from a wonderful season and final series of last year that people were waxing lyrical about, rated through the roof, to the shambles that we've got this year. They've cooked this game, Bronk, and the fans are speaking out, and you only have to, as I said, flick through a couple of different platforms where the real fans talk, and there it is, in black and white.
Couldn't agree with you more, mate. I mean, it's I was talking to a young fellow yesterday who sadly is a absolute crazy Dragons supporter, but he hasn't watched a single game of football since round 2.
There you go.
He hasn't. Because this is a. This is a guy, what is he? He's 36, 37-year-old, so this is a demographic they're looking at, and this poor bugger's just totally bewildered about the whole thing. So,
I mean, it's just littered with with
Too true.
anti-NRL comments. Only one
Yeah.
game Here we go. Only one game at Magic Round was within 20 points. The mainstream media won't discuss how uncompetitive the game is because they don't want to upset the NRL.
Yep, and that seems to be the case, doesn't it? I don't know how they've suddenly become like the gilded god or something, that untouchable.
Yeah, dictatorship.
It gets me. Yeah.
Last time I looked, we weren't North Korea. It's just someone's idea of what we need to do.
Yeah.
Anyway. They roll on most over by halftime. This comp is ordinary with the new so-called tweaks in 2026. Ruined a great competition. 6 again, try, injury, entertainment. Call it out. Magic Round was woeful. Most games over by halftime. Most games have 40 points in it. Yawn. Rugby league isn't a contest of toughness anymore. This is touch football. You only go and see the Globetrotters once. The game has gone to the Dogs. The Magic Round was a bore. As a fan since 1975, the NRL has lost me.
Yeah, and this is becoming more evident, but doesn't seem to worry them.
I could read this all day. I could read these out all day.
I've got no doubt, and this is the problem, mate. They there's a no listen edict somewhere in the in Slick's clauses that he has in that invisible rule book that's floating around somewhere.
Well, let's see how well they can stuff up Origin this year, or whether they're game to.
Well, absolutely. I'm extremely interested in what is going to happen with the penalties versus the 6 agains. Had it have been last year's rule set up and what have you, then you can be reasonably confident in yourself. But now that people say, oh, yeah, it's only been a bit of a tweak, but it's been a bit of a tweak, my ass. It's a long way off a bit of a tweak. It's a different game in 12 months. And that shouldn't that's almost impossible when you consider what an excitement game and the game of rugby league was meant to be.
Well, players always decide Origin historically, and we don't really notice referees, but that's changing.
There in itself is the major worry.
Yep. Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, Ashley Klein has been given the whistle again for the series, unless he has a complete and utter Barry Crocker. He'll do the 3 games, and he's into his 9th year of Origin. We all look at Ashley and wonder what he's going to do.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Let's hope he doesn't do what he normally does. Anyway.
Well, this is true. Yeah, Next Thursday morning, that should give us food for a little bit of. There should be a little bit of ammunition laying around that we can most likely have a crack with.
I'm sure there will be.
I've got no doubt. Absolutely true.
Round 12 football action. We've got a shortened version, of course, because we've got almost half the comp having a bye this week. Let's look at it. Thursday night footy tonight in the nation's capital at GIO, fresh off a bye. It is the Raiders at home to the Dolphins, 7.50. KO Fox and B Sting. The betting here, Raiders are favourites at $1.68. Dolphins paying $2.19.
I didn't think I'd be saying this, but even though Canberra's a massive start down there in the night game because it's going to have to be minus 50 or something down there, surely.
Possibly.
But I never thought I'd see the day that the Dolphins have got nearly half the Queensland's run on side. It's
a changing of the guard.
It is, and good on them. Good on them. And they are playing very, very good football. I almost erred then and said entertaining, but bite your tongue, child, Bronchi. Bite your tongue. Yeah, look, I'd have to go for Canberra. Canberra for mine, mate.
Yeah, Raiders, for me, they've got to kickstart their season at some point and probably should do it in round 12. Friday football, Accor Stadium, the Dogs at home to the Storm, 8 p.m, KO Fox and B Sting. It's the Dogs favourites at $1.63. Can you believe that? Storm at $2.30.
Yeah, well, Storm have got a couple missing, but geez, and it's not that.
You're a brave man if you're taking the 163.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, well, geez, you're a good millionaire with a good sense of humour, aren't you? Look, I couldn't go for the Bulldogs until they show a lot more than what they're showing at the present time. Yeah, look, I'll go for the other crew. Yeah.
Yeah, it's frightening, but we are in agreement here again. Storm. A mini version of Super Saturday rolls on at Jubilee Stadium. The Dragons at home to the Warriors. It's $4.25 playing $1.23. This on KO Fox, 5:30 p.m.
Oh, well, no comment other than how far the Warriors.
Sadly, I think he's right. Warriors. The other game, Four Pines Park. It's the Sea Eagles. They're calling it Fosball up against the Titans, 7:35. KO Fox, the betting, $1.26 the home side, $3.90 the Titans. Do your best here.
Oh, well, another win for Fosball.
Yeah, Fosball again. Gee,
Just poor old Titans. I mean,
they're awful.
I mean, they've only got one decent player, and he's playing for Queensland, so there's no hope.
Yeah, no. Maybe another day we'll revisit the Titans because they need revisiting.
They do.
Sunday afternoon, 4:05 p.m, Land Shoes open the pantry for the iced Vovos, Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. It's the Cowboys at home to the Rabbitohs. The betting, $1.67 the home side. Rabbits at $2.22. This on KO Fox and Beasting TV.
Well, remember last week we spoke about the odds of the cows. It proved to be correct. Latrell's becoming the mystery man of the NRL. I mean, he decided that he'd have a run last week, but in the process, during the match, had to come off the field because the mystery back ailment had reared its ugly head again. And he then declared himself out of Origin. I mean, didn't get the doctors any chance to have a look and see just what this mystery was. He's got me a little bit flummoxed, but I suppose Clint will work out just what's going on with Bubba, and I really can't explain it any better than that. Cowboys will most likely roll these fellas.
What a summation. Actually, you know what? Last week, I put it to you, he may have done damage to the ticker and what else he's purporting to have hurt the back or something by being up there at the property at Taree catching pigs. Oh, dear. Yes, well, how can I disagree? Cowboys, that'll do. On that note, good luck and good punting.
Yeah. And, and to the rest of you, hooroo.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.